Hello and welcome back to 4FS Gaming. Today I'm doing a tier list of traits in Hunt Showdown. Now tier lists, as we all know, are always controversial. You're not going to agree with everything I say, especially when I tell you that your favourite trait is worse than useless, but hey, that's just how it's going to be. That's why we have a comment section, and I expect you to use it a fair bit at the end of this video. Now I'm going to look at 5 tiers of trait in this video. S tier are traits that are excellent and make a significant impact on your effectiveness. A tier traits are very strong, and they'll make a noticeable difference to your performance. B tier traits are helpful, and they are nice to have, and I'll often use a spare trait point to pick these ones up. Traits in the C tier are weak. I would usually consider them a waste of trait points to buy. And D tier traits are more or less useless, or so situational to be not worth taking at all. I will also point out when a trait is situational, as some traits are really high tier in certain circumstances and useless in others. So let's start from the top. In the S tier, my first trait is Pack Mule. For 3 points, it gives you double the items when looting. It's cheap and amazing, allowing you to use tools and consumables freely and get them back very quickly from dead enemies or item boxes. It helps you heal and it helps you throw more explosives, so what's not to love? Then we have Frontiersman. Now it is expensive at 8 points, but it gives you an extra medpack use and charges for other tools. The extra heal alone is worth it, however, allowing you to carry more traps, decoy fuses, etc. really makes this one top tier. Then we have Doctor, and Doctor speaks for itself. It doubles your healing potential from medpacks, allowing you to get back in the fight faster. It's amazing, probably the best trait in the game. If you can take Doctor, you should take Doctor. Now there are 2 more traits that I would like to put in S tier, but they're pretty situational. Fan-In is really great because it turns any single action revolver into a CQC powerhouse, and gives close range options to sniper loadouts. It can make average weapons great. Also Bolt Thrower. It halves the reload time for crossbows, and it's an amazing perk, but only when using crossbows. Now let's move down to the A tier. A controversial pick that I like here is Beast Face. Now I don't see this much as a stealth perk, but rather as a speed perk. It allows you to flank and position yourself much faster without giving away your position. It allows you to move across the map while crouching less, and taking less detours from your route to avoid AI. Speed is king in this game, and being in a good position while undetected is much easier when you have this perk equipped. I also rank Physician in the A tier, as faster bandaging gets you back in the fight with less downtime, meaning you can support your teammates in critical circumstances. Pitcher is another solid pick. Not as great as it used to be, but still capable of allowing frag bomb throws from impressive range. And finally, Bulwark, which reduces damage taken from explosives. Now it won't always save you from getting one-shot by frags, but it will reduce the range at which their explosion is lethal, and it means a bomb lance, stick, and red barrel traps won't instantly take you out of the fight. As for the situational A tier traits, we have Quartermaster, which is mandatory for some loadouts you might want to run, Levering, which assists the Winfield's capabilities in close quarters, and Bullet Grubber, which helps you sustain yourself in long gunfights when using certain types of weapons. Now we're going to move to the B tier traits. Now these are more quality of life improvement traits. They make things a little bit easier, but don't fundamentally change how you play. Greyhound, for example, makes you better at running for longer, and Determination lets you clear out AI with melee in large numbers much more easily. Lightfoot is a little bit expensive, but well worth it when you need to climb that one ladder silently to finish your flanking maneuver. Ghoul is an underrated perk that turns everybody on the battlefield into a health pack, and it will keep you well stocked on meds when in multi-team fights. Resilience is one of those perks that you don't think is any good at all. Until you are down on a roof, your partner is trying to revive you, you're screaming, "No, don't do it, stop," but they just keep going. It can keep you alive, or let you get back into the fight immediately after getting downed. It also essentially acts like an extra medkit charge, as you don't need to heal as much after getting picked up. This is obviously useless for solo players. Then we have Kite Skin, which can open up a whole new array of traversal options throughout compounds, allowing you to get the jump on unsuspecting foes, quite literally, without taking excessive amounts of damage. If you don't believe me, well, when you drop down from the second story of a building right behind a team and start unloading with the Crowning King, then you'll understand the use of this perk. Now there are plenty of B tier helpful but highly situational perks. Iron Repeater, Iron Sharpshooter, the Deadeye, Marksman, and Sniper Scopesmith perks. They all keep you aiming down sights between shots with their respective weapons. Some people really like this and find it helpful, I can find it a bit annoying because it locks you into the animation, and I like to clear my field of view before shooting again, so these are heavily preference based, but some people really do stick to them. Now let's go to the C tier perks. These I consider weak. Not useless, but they are very scrappy. Conduit is nice for a minor chance that you might get to use a clue as a health pack. Hornskin means you take less damage from some basic AI, which are not really a threat anyway, and what hunter will ever attack you with blunt damage? It's a pretty rare occurrence. Salve skin gives burnt health back faster. This will almost never come into play in such a manner that it is life or death. I've probably had one time in hundreds of hours where a spark shot that would have killed me didn't, because salve skin had helped my health regenerate. Silent Killer is pretty bad and expensive, as even though you don't grunt when making a melee attack, the target you kill will make audible noises that can be heard from a similar range anyway when they die. Bloodless used to be great, but now bleed is a pretty minor status effect that can be paused while you heal with bandages. I'm expecting some backlash for placing this one as a C tier because a lot of people really like it. The good news is, on Crytek's Hunt Showdown roadmap, they are looking at applying different levels of status conditions, so maybe Bleed's going to get a buff and then Bloodless would be useful. Poacher means that you set traps silently. If the enemy is so close that they could hear you and you're still setting up traps, then you're probably doing something wrong or they're doing something wrong. You should be fighting at that point. Mithriatist halves poison duration, but hives can easily be killed without getting poisoned, and halving the duration won't really help you against any of the player-based poison effects. It's also rendered useless if you're one of those people that likes to take antidote shots. Finally, we have Vulture, which can give you more loots, but it really only applies in trios, and even then you have to coordinate who loots what so that the person with Vulture loots last, and at the end of the day it's really going to have any significant impact at all. Then to finish off, we have the list of D tier traits. Now these are the ones that more or less have no impact on the game. Let's look at Gator Legs. You lose less stamina in deep water. If you like to sprint through deep water to the point where this is conceivably useful, then I would suggest re-evaluating your playstyle. Now, sway when aiming down sights was reduced in update 1.0 when the game left early access, to the point where steady aim and steady hand make such a minuscule difference that you are completely wasting your trait points on them. They're a bit of a noob trap on the moment, especially on PC where the sway might as well not exist at all. Decoy supply used to be the only way to get back decoys, but now you can get them all refilled out of any item box. I suppose you can still use this to exhaust every ammo crate you find without shooting your gun, but it's still next to useless. Now for Tomahawk. Don't get me wrong, this is one of my favourite traits in the game. It has a very high fun factor. Throwing those world item melee weapons around is great fun, especially the pitchfork. Practically, however, you are almost always better shooting your enemy, or rushing them with a melee weapon in hand. Attempting to get Tomahawk kills gives you a disadvantage, even though it's a lot of fun. Then we have Bolt Seer. It's useless. If you can remember the general place where your bolts and knives landed, you'll find them anyway. And if you don't know where they landed, generally then Bolt Seer won't be able to help you that much anyway. Dauntless. It's a great idea. Rush a grenade and put it out. But here's the thing. You already know just how difficult it is to pick up your throwing knives as you run over the body of the hive you just killed without breaking a stride. Now try doing the same thing with a live grenade. Attempting to use this perk will get you killed more often than not. If someone has cooked a grenade so poorly that you can put it out with Dauntless, then you could just run away from it and be fine anyway. Adrenaline. This speaks for itself. Get more stamina when you're almost dead. That doesn't make you faster, it just restores you to normal, non-exhausted sprint speed, and it's not going to keep you alive. I mean, I suppose if you're a new player that really struggles with multiple AI, it could be useful, but you're going to have bigger problems in this game than that. Then we have Vigilant, detect traps in Darksight. If you remember to tap Darksight to look for traps, which is audible to your enemies by the way, you can remember to, just look for traps next to that barrel or through that doorway. It doesn't take magic voodoo powers to see the obvious. And finally, this is the most worthless perk in the game. The only one that actually makes no difference at all. And it is Iron Devastator. Fun fact, shotguns behave in an identical manner if you ADS or not. So staying down sights with the Spectre is completely pointless. All it does is limit your field of view. And that is every trait in Hunt Showdown. If I hurt your feelings, please let me know why I am wrong in the comments below. And while you're at it, feel free to like and subscribe. As part of the Hunt Showdown partner program, if you use my code in the description to purchase a copy of Hunt Showdown, you will get 10% off and support my channel at the same time. Thank you so much for watching. This is Ascendance from 4FS Gaming.